Hello, and welcome to Inside the Third Space. In each episode, we delve into the concept of being in the third space through the unique perspective of different individuals, uncovering their insights, experiences, and identity. My name is Diana Saragi Turnip, an educational developer at the Faculty of Medicine and Health at UNSW Sydney. Today, I'm joined by Aaron St. James, a research officer for UNSW Diversified project. Aaron, thank you for joining us.
No worries, Diana.
Yes, before we jump into your work, Aaron, I've been reflecting on what third space means to me as an educational developer. I see it as the space between not quite academic, not purely professional, but a kind of a connective tissue in the university. It's where ideas become practice, where strategy meets life experience, and where collaboration really happens. So, to start us off, tell us more about your role and how long have you been at UNSW community?
Well, I've been a student, mature age student, since 2020, but started working for the university in 2021. So I guess 4 years. And I've had 14 casual employment records since then. So it's, yeah, a bit chaotic at times. And as you said before, it's like I'm in that not quite academic and not quite professional space. So it is, yeah, quite difficult to manage at times, especially whilst being a student too. Um, as my work really ties heavily with accessibility and neuro-inclusion and building, co-founding Diversified, um, which it's been a way to try to make more change within the university and, yeah, provide me more financial stability. Because I used to be an executive chef.
Wow.
So I've come from being an executive chef to full-time work with holiday pay and all that stuff to coming into university and then living off casual work and just stuff like that. So it's just a lot of instability and it's just been a lot of, yeah, change. So yeah, it's been um, quite a challenging space to navigate, but yeah, we're all doing the best we can at the end of the day. So
Mm. So, how did you end up in your role?
Um, well, as a co-founder of Diversified, I had certain skills um, that were then applied to a specific casual staff level, which ended up being a research officer, which is quite, I guess, maybe contentious for some people because a research officer role, you technically need a PhD. And yeah, I don't have a degree. So it's like I'll have a degree at the end of this year. So it's like, um, I guess having a role like that and being capable of doing X like level of things within a role, I guess was pretty exciting. And yeah, that's how I landed that role at the start. Um, and then I've just seen gaps within the university that I can see that things need to be systems need to be changed or a neuro-inclusive lens needs to be applied to certain courses, for example. So like I've created a lot of my own roles through like seed funding grants and stuff, as well as Diversified. So it's been, I see a gap and then I try to fill it. I'll find a supervisor or just someone to get the funding who's an academic, and then I'll just have that role for X amount of time. So hence the 14 casual employment records.
But you don't actually have that 14 in one go, right?
No, definitely not. I think probably the most I've held in one go is like 5.
Wow, that's still.
But this is one of the struggles. It's like living off casual work and being a student, which I'm full time for the last year of my degree this year, for the first time, and juggling all that with study. It's very challenging because all of it just goes to rent and living expenses. So it's not like I have any, yeah, I've got no time and like no extra money at the end of the day. So it's like, yeah.
Yeah. hmm when did you first hear about third space?
Honestly, when you approached me to come on the podcast, I guess I was diagnosed with ADHD quite late in life at 27. And before that, I didn't know how to put words to things, being dyslexic as well. But being diagnosed and medicated has really helped me just process things and understand things in a more developed manner. But yeah, I guess I kind of knew what it was in a non-direct sense, but then when you applied the third space, like terminology to it, I just was able to piece that together and understand it fully. But yeah, it was when you first approached me. So yeah, before that, I guess I didn't quite have the words for it. Yeah.
So, how do you see this third space relate to your role?
Well, I think that blurred line between academic and professionalism, like you said before, is the space where you're constantly trying to translate between those two worlds. In my case, it's translating student needs into language and processes the institution will listen to, and also taking the institutional language back to students in a way they can actually use. It's invisible work a lot of the time, and a lot of unpaid work too. But I see myself as like a bridge, and people always don't see the toll it takes when you're standing in the middle. So yeah, it's an interesting space to be in. It's not for everybody, but yeah.
Yeah. So, like, in terms of your professional, then, like, do you face any challenges as a third space professional yourself?
I think capacity and burnout is probably the biggest two things that I can, talk to. Um, as a mature age student and someone who's neurodivergent and who has a physical disability and chronic health conditions, I've also really never had financial stability growing up in like a low SES environment. Um, yeah, it's been quite challenging. But uni has been the closest thing to, I guess, providing the stability. Um, Not just because it pays well, but because I guess I found more community and a sense of purpose with Diversified, which has then expanded into other roles. Um, but the casualization, if that's a word, I guess is quite brutal, because I was thinking about this morning. If I apply myself to a hospitality setting for a kitchen, it's just one role. There's many things to do within that one role, but I can thrive in that space. But when you divide me into 5 roles and then as a student too, the cognitive load and capacity just really burns their candle out faster, which is a concern, because there's a lot of casual staff at the university doing many things which can lead to burnout and stuff like that. So, um, yeah.
Yeah. So with that challenges in mind, so what do you think is important thing for us as a third space professional then to be doing right now?
I think this podcast is one, sharing people's lived experience, and knowing, yeah, helping people understand that they're not alone. Um, I think I come from more marginalized backgrounds than most that enter into university. So I guess to have my voice heard and to have other people resonate is something that I think is important. And yeah, the supporting each other aspect, I guess, which could come from, I guess, the community that's being built around this space. But also naming the invisible labor, for what it is and for better conditions, as there's a lot of unpaid work, especially within the like equity, diversity, and inclusion space, that a lot of the time goes unnoticed and unpaid, and it's something that I think needs to be resolved somehow, but we're not here today to talk about that. I think protecting ourselves from burnout definitely, because the system does love to take, and if you care deeply, you can end up having more than you have to give sometimes, I feel. Yeah.
Hmm. Yeah. So, yes, with that in mind, what would you say to people who wants to explore a role in the third space for anyone new?
I would say go in with your eyes open, as it can be deeply rewarding, because you get to make real change and work in ways that don't fit old categories. Um, it's been interesting because I thrive in team environments, but having to transition into remote work and being on my laptop constantly, I guess the motivation and procrastination is real. Um, or a motivation, I should say, and procrastination. So for any neurodivergent people listening, I feel that, just be mindful of the changes you may need to make when entering the space, or just consider it if you're already in it. I guess also, um, I guess find your people early to have a support network is another thing, and protect your energy. And don't be afraid to carve your own path instead of following the hierarchical normal path, because for many of us, the path was never built with us in mind, if that makes sense.
Yes. Thank you so much, Aaron.
No worries.
It's great to speak with you today, and thank you for joining us and sharing your insights. So, to the listeners, thank you for tuning in into the Inside the Third Space. Until next time, stay curious and keep exploring the third space. This episode of Inside the Third Space was presented by me, Diana Saragi Turnip. Our editor is An Nguyen, and our producer is Agnita Amarnath. We were joined today by our guest, Aaron St. James.